of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was trucking up the highway, minding my own lane, with some dude in a Prius when flipped me off. Guess my redneck hit him wrong. Seems like everyone these days is a ticking time bomb full of hate for folks like me who don't agree and ain't ever gonna change. And it gets me thinking, leave this long-haired country boy.
Hey everybody, this is Jon Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly, and I want to thank you for tuning in to our podcast/radio show. The views are going out of this world. I want to thank everybody that's involved in sponsoring this for us. And if you want to get involved, please get a hold of us. You can contact us, jonmarietta.com, and we'll be gladly able to take your graphic and put it up there with all the rest of them we got. We're also on TikTok right now, and that is going. We just started that by mistake this weekend. It wasn't supposed to start till Monday. It started on Sunday, and we got the wrong date in there, but it's going crazy. We got views on some of the videos already just on TikTok. They're approaching 10,000. But anyways, let's get started. I'll tell you what, friends, they're fixing to string a high voltage scar clear across southern Fayette County. And the folks who actually live on this land are the last ones anybody in power is listening. You've got billion-dollar energy outfits talking pretty about regional resiliency and economic development. Man, them's pretty big words. But what they really see is your ridge tops and family farms as lines on a map to be carved up by steel tires and wire. Once the bureaucrats stamp that approval, here comes eminent domain. And a Fayette County landowner's choice boils down to this. You don't get to say no. You only get to argue over the price of your own loss. And where are all the so-called leaders? Yeah, where are our leaders? Our senator from the 32nd district ought to be locked arm in arm with landowners and ratepayers, not hiding behind press releases, and silence while corporate lawyers draw the future of our county. Our county commissioners, the same bunch that never met a tax hike they didn't like, suddenly can't comment when it comes to how this line slices through your property, hit assessments, and haunt county taxpayers for decades. The good book says, woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, so there be no place. That's exactly what's happening. When politicians and power companies team up against the people who hold the deeds and pay the bills. This isn't about poles and wires, neighbor. It's about whether the landowner still has any say in the land, whether taxpayers still can say in the future have a say in the future of Fayette County. I am Jon Marietta, the Hillbilly, and this is your wake-up call. Because if we don't stand up now, we'll be staring at steel in the sky, wondering why nobody in Harrisburg or at the courthouse ever bothered to stand with us until it mattered. I will tell you this, Charity Grimm is standing up for these people. She's a representative. I probably should have worked that into my opening. We have to give her credit. She is standing up for the people out in the southern end of the county. And we have to give her credit for that. She's doing what she can. Hopefully we were able to ride this out. We're able to get people that are doing this a change of heart and maybe look at things a little different. But anyways, I have Susan. And Susan, I want you to tell us your last name so I don't.
Zuchowsky.
Zuchowsky.
Good old Irish name.
Yeah. And she happens to be a friend of a friend. And Melanie Llewellyn said, Minister at Salt Foundation Ministry, said, Susan, time you go on Jon's show and talk about this. What I do want to talk about is this kind of was dropped on you like all at once.
Oh, we've been blindsided. There's no other way to put it. We had no warning really that this was coming. A year ago,
I was at the meeting. Go ahead.
well, a year ago at Fairchance Fire Hall, NextEra had sent out postcards. Our neighbors all got them, but not every landowner got them. There was quite a few that did not. I found out by accident, and I was informed that the meeting was the following day. So I made copies of their postcards and took them around and put them in the property owners that live close to the current power line that's going over our property. I mean, I've had 2 public utilities go across my property already. I have water towers on my ground. I have an existing power line that's been up there, and it's a small one compared to what's coming through. They're calling this a mega transportation highway for power in these towers. And I read the documents at the Smithfield Library. The smallest tower will be 145 feet, which is pretty much double the size of what we have, up to 190 feet. And anyway, we went to the meeting, and they said there were 7 routes, and it was very unlikely that they'd come over us. Well, then there was nothing else said or heard. No one was notified, nothing in the papers. And people communicate differently now. The Uniontown newspapers no longer delivered. You get it in the mail, and it's, limited as to what they put in it. If you're on Facebook, you're not always getting the facts. And, if you get a television show or a podcast like you have, you may get some correct information from that. But in my area, no one knew what was going on. Still, to this day, I'm having difficulty getting the property owners notified that they have condensed these lines in to 2 routes, and we're one of them. West Virginia has had a whole year to get their attorneys, their groups together, and theirs is called WATI, West Virginians Against Transmission, I forget what the I stands for,
It's okay.
Pick an I word.
Okay.
But anyway, they've got their attorneys, they have their support groups, and all the property owners there know that they're touching their property. To this day, I cannot get an accurate answer from NextEra what property owners are actually affected.
And NextEra is the company that's going to be the transmission company.
They have the initials MARL, which is the transmission energy grid for 3 different states. But the problem is with NextEra, it's a private company, and they build transmission lines. We found out, thanks to Charity Grimm-Krupa and Darrell Lawrence from the Secretary of the Pennsylvania Public Utilities Commission, and he notified Charity that this was going down and that he was against it. Because number one, what they're doing, they're taking our natural resources that we have here in Pennsylvania, and we're literally an extension cord taking our power down to Virginia. Now, they don't pay our taxes, and they're definitely not going to pay our bills. And we share a major cost in the development of this line.
That's something that they don't want us to know, no matter who it is. That's why I got involved in it the way and started talking to people and trying to find out what I could, because it's not just going to affect the people out in Spring Hill Township.
Right, correct. It's all of Pennsylvania.
It's going to be everybody in Fayette County is going to get affected by this in some way. Because let's think about this. If you take an extension cord and run it from Uniontown to Smithfield, guess what? It might start out at 120 volts, but it doesn't make 120 volts at the end. So somewhere along the way, they got to add power to this to make sure it makes the right amount of power at the opposite end. So that's how we're going to lose, because they're going to steal our power.
They're stealing our resources. And what are we going to do when we run out of resources? Are they going to give us resources to power our state?
No.
Thank you.
No.
But they want us to help pay so they can take power to Virginia. There was a law in Pennsylvania that no other state could come in and take our resources. And 4 months ago, almost 5 months ago now, there was a judge out towards Philadelphia that changed the law that they could. And then he retired. How convenient. But at any rate, then NextEra applied for their permitting to the PUC, and that's when Daryl Lawrence found out about it. We didn't know that they had applied for eminent domain, even though they're a private company. Only utilities can apply for eminent domain. At this time, they just build transmission lines, and they're out of Florida. And at this point in time, we don't have a power source built for them to transmit the power. Now, there's a lot of talk about what's going to happen in Greene County. And the old Robina mine, it's supposedly going to be the site of an AI center, but they have their own water, their own power plant. They're not taking power from anywhere, as far as I know. I did not do any research on that, other than I know the name of the project. As far as a power plant, it still would have to be built to take the power to Virginia. They're getting the cart before the horse, in the sense they want to be a public utility, but they're a private company. They are not a public utility yet. But we have a deadline to protest them becoming a public utility, and it was April 1st. Well, Charity was successful in moving the date May 1st. So after they applied, they had 60 days for people to protest against their coming through. We're in the Laurel Highlands. In fact, I just Googled it. We're like rated across the nations as one of the most beautiful places to visit. And we have so much to offer in these areas. And actually today, they just declared Laurel Caverns a state park.
That was, yesterday. Yeah.
Well, yesterday. But
Yeah.
these monster lines, and when I say monster, they're going to be hideous. What we have now has one layer of power lines going across. These are going to be multiple layers and 190 feet tall. So you can imagine, you can probably see them from 5 miles away. And the current power line actually crosses Skyline Drive relatively close to where Laurel Caverns is. So they're taking all our scenic beauty here and they're trying to industrialize it. We already have windmills. We already have a power line. And like I said, how many public utilities can they put over a person's property? There should be a limit, number one. But number two, we've had no notice. So here we have till May 1st, and to protest the eminent domain, it's a separate form to protest the transmission line with 2 different docket numbers. And what I'm very upset about is I read all their literature where they research the environmental impact and the environment and the rivers and blah, blah, blah. It's available, by the way, if anybody has time. Smithfield Library is open on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12 to 4. And Point Marion Library is open Monday through Thursday from 4 to 8. You can actually go look at the maps. And in West Virginia, they have all the maps outlined with the size of the property, with the property owners' names. They hit Bunker Hill and it stops. The people in Pennsylvania actually don't know for sure who's being affected directly. But they did all this research, so they should know which way they're coming. At one point in time, there was a map out and it showed people's little houses and where it was going. And I'm told that's no longer available to see. And what they're putting in the paper is vague and the lines are blurred and they have the option of moving it. So if a landowner is supposed to protest them coming across their property with a special docket number, and you don't know for sure if it's coming that way, okay, we'll move it 500 feet down this way. It's a different property owner. It's not fair to the property owners to have such blurred information, let alone blurred map lines. So we don't really know who's going to be directly impacted. Now, everybody can fill out comment forms with a different docket number. So if you go to the PUC website, and you can protest, but you have to go down and protest transmission lines and eminent domain. They were supposed to try to make it a little bit user-friendly, but the last time it was checked that I'm aware of, you had to have a PDF file, you had to be able to print it, sign the form. So let's make it a little more complicated, for the average person to do. And we have an older community here. I mean, there's people that don't have cell phones, let alone a computer set up in printers.
Well, I'm sure some of the farms that they're going across are generational.
Oh, 5 generations or more.
Yeah, and I'm sure that some of the people are, okay. In my case, I have children, I have grandchildren, and I have property that me and my wife
Set aside for
our
your
grandchildren.
heirs. Correct.
Yeah, so they can They
Everybody
can,
does.
they can, if they decide they want to build, I mean, we'll make that happen.
Correct.
Somehow. I mean, but anyways, that was the whole idea. So now what you're saying is you're going to put power lines through. You probably can't build underneath them.
Oh,
And you can't probably build anywhere close. How close can you build to them?
well, you can't. The first meeting they had, they said they were taking 100 feet. Well, that doesn't sound like much. But then I found out they're taking 50 feet on either side to maintain their right of way on either side. So now we're up to 200 feet. So, and if they're going uphill, down the hill, round a curve, whatever, depending on the terrain, they can take as high as 700 feet, which is substantial. But the biggest concern is the towers we have now, they, of course, they emit electromagnetic waves.
Yeah.
And these waves interfere with wildlife, bats, bees, oh yeah. Fun fact, I read an article where power lines affect the sperm count in cattle. Well, what does it do to human beings? You don't see articles about that because there's power lines all over the country. But I found out too, Medtronics is medical supply people. A lot of people have insulin pumps from them, implanted defibrillators, pacemakers, whatever. And with an aging population, there's a lot of new things available. They can't be close to power lines. They malfunction. They're not accurate. And nothing said about that. And as far as being a nurse, I know, exposure to high power lines, it's a threat to children's. They're at risk for brain tumors and leukemia and absolutely everybody. Right now in the area where I live with the existing power line, every single household has had a case of cancer. Every single one, including my husband. We have bladder cancer, cancer on their feet, lung cancer, pancreatic cancer, just right around my little area, every single household.
Pancreatic cancer.
Well, and so we're going from small towers with one row to 190-foot towers with multiple layers of wire. So that electromagnetic field is going to go even further.
So you're talking about football field, if is 100 yards. That's one end zone to from one goal to the other. And
100 feet is what they said originally. 100 feet, 50, right.
But now you're talking about 2/3 of a football field high.
Yeah.
190.
Correct.
I mean, 200 feet would be
the height.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I a lot of people don't realize this, but the windmills are over 300 feet high. And
so these are going to be close.
They're going to be 100 feet shorter than the windmills, but
you'll still be you'll be able to see them for miles.
Yeah.
And here we are, our scenic Laurel Highlands. I think we're as far as the sectors, we have almost $2 billion that come in from tourists that come to our area. You think they want to look at that?
Yeah.
I mean, the natural beauty that's here, and the AI plants, it's not that I'm against them, but I mean, as far as their technology with everything, they need the water, they need the extra power, they generate heat, they're adding to global warming, and everybody's jumping on the bandwagon for this. And, to me, I'm comparing it to a Model T. Oh, yeah, we got the idea. It's going to get us from here to here, but now we got Cadillacs and supercars. I think they need to fine tune their technology before they put them all over the planet. That's my belief. They need to make them more efficient and not destroy the planet.
One of the biggest things that with the data centers that people don't realize, the bigger they are, the more water they need, because they have to cool. They have a cooling tower. They have to cool everything. So that's where we're at with that. And I don't think people realize some of the bigger ones using 1 million gallons of water a year. And now they're saying, well, we can recycle that water. They're
so
trying,
long.
but yeah, I mean, water evaporates,
and it's contaminated,
and then it's contaminated,
and it's contaminated. And where are they going to bury that out? Where they got the nuclear waste, same place. I pity those people.
Well, like I said, I was involved with some people with the injection wells when that all started, and so you have to start thinking about things. How this is going to play Fayette County. I mean, everybody wants jobs. Everybody wants
And
progress.
that's another thing.
But this isn't going to create jobs for
No.
hardly anybody. I mean, there'll be a
Correct.
few jobs that
Right.
people will get.
And actually, they have their own people. You know, maybe they may hire somebody from the area to take our timber, which they will, our mineral rights, you know, and then they destroy the ground. I mean, they say, oh, you can still farm. It's like, no, you can't. I mean, you can have them not spray the chemicals. My property has freshwater springs, you know, so it's like if you don't have it as pasture, we grow other things. But, you know, but as far as cattle goes, that's about all you can really have underneath these power lines. And they're going through big farms in our area. If you take away all of our farmland, I mean, people don't realize how much our farms produce around here. We grow the corn that goes for ethanol gas and soybeans and the hay for the cattle. And they're going through some of our biggest farms. Like that's their number one route, farms. Well, when you destroy all the farmland, where we could get food? I mean, they don't think about that, you know?
I'm friends with Richard Byrd, so and of course through a lot of different things. But I mean, he's gonna. I mean, I know that. But the thing of it is like you say, they're raising corn for ethanol,
right?
So
it affects everybody. So they're coming. St. Marion's get hit hard. If you do go to those libraries and look at the maps, and you can, like I said, they took people's property owners' names off because they don't want people to know they're being affected. So if you can decipher their maps, good luck. I mean, I was able to see just because I know the lay of the land, and in some maps, they don't even show the highways and the roads that are crossing. So, like you said, it's just.
I know. I looked at the last year when we was at Fairchance, and I was looking at it, and somebody come to me and we've got a map put up right now. But, they had 7 different routes. I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And
they combined them into 2.
It was awful confusing the way they were doing it, and I'm sure
it's
that,
intentional.
I'm sure that was intentional. Okay, so let's cut to the chase. If Virginia needs this much power, why don't we just we'll mine the coal here and we'll send it to Virginia and let them make the
they went
power.
Green under the Biden administration. When Obama was in, they went green. They shut down 20 of their coal-powered plants. Now they've rebooted a few to start to generate some power, but what happened was Virginia gave all these companies major tax breaks to build AI centers. So they all swarmed into Virginia and built their AI centers, and they have hundreds of them. And of course, with the major drain on the system, the brownouts and blackouts and everything they have down there, and the water needs, they're draining their resources so they can have these AIs. So in Pennsylvania, in fact, my husband just went a webinar on AIs. Currently, Pennsylvania has 11 the minute, and they're projected to have 52. Virginia has hundreds, but the government gave them tax breaks. So they all came in. Well, now they've been in there so many years, tax breaks are over. Some of them are shutting down and pulling out.
So now they're looking for somewhere else.
They're looking for somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
And
so this power line might be a bit of a ruse because
in the sense, right?
We're taking it through.
Oh no, they still want our power. Oh, they still want our power. You know, at whatever price. We're like, we don't count. We're second class citizens. You know, that's the thing. It's evidently they're more important.
So there's going to be a meeting in Smithfield, right?
Yes, we've been passing out forms, but people don't. Oh, and by the way, if you are a landowner, you're supposed to fill out the protest form. Nobody knows if they're landowners or not with a different docket number. So there's been forms being passed out, but nobody's returning them. But on the protest forms, it says must be overnight mailed. We will never make it there by May 1st. May 1st, and it happens over a weekend. May 6th, they're going to let them know if they can become a public utility or come take our property. And when I say take our property, if anybody researches eminent domain, this law came out in the 1700s. It hasn't been changed. And we were mostly forests back then, and land was cheap. Well, land is valuable now. And in our area, nobody sells plots of land cheaply at all. The farmers are hanging on to theirs for dear life, pass on. And it's mostly, if you get land in this area, it's inherited from a family member. You might buy a lot, but you're not going to buy plots at 20, 30. They're going through the Goodwin farm, I know for sure. They're going through the pine tree farm, quarter pine tree farms. They're going to destroy that property. They already had, their property is so beautiful. They set up for a wedding venue. They already have photographers to come up there and take pictures of the sunsets and the pine trees when their family goes out, and their portraits. They don't do it, but other people come in. But they already did all this permitting, and now they're going to destroy that. I mean, they support multiple families off what they make there, and they're cutting into these people's livelihood. And eminent domain is pennies on the dollar. I talked to a land assessor up in West Virginia, talking to a lot of people, because I've been trying to get the word out there. But anyway, he said he had a case where the people paid $19,000 an acre for their retirement home, built their little cabin in the woods with everything, and a section of power line came over their property, over their house. They paid them $5,000 for everything they took, but they paid $19,000 an acre. Now, and the sad part is, not only they're coming through we're populated now. There's houses everywhere. You're going to hit houses. And, it interferes, if you're close enough, electromagnetic waves, interferes with telephone, cell service, internet, besides the medical equipment. There's a lot of inconvenience here that people's going to suffer long after they're gone, and they take your property. And guess what? You still get to pay taxes on it. Even though they take it and you can't use it, you still have to pay the taxes
on
it.
Yep. It isn't like like they're going to pay taxes on the right of way.
This law needs modified now. I mean, this is something, in fact, it needs stopped. People really, and it's not okay. And people think, it's not coming over us. If they start bringing in more AI plans, yes, it can come over you. And we're trying to stop this entirely. We don't want to push it over on a neighbor and let it become their problem. We want to stop it. We want to maintain our area. We want to keep it a tourist attraction. And they're not providing jobs. If they would build a power plant, maybe with AI, they'll probably run itself. But maybe you might have 100 or maybe even 200 maintenance workers, something, if they build a power plant in Greene County, like there's been talk of that. But as far as building, they're bringing their own people. Like I said, you might get someone to cut down the timber, but it's not jobs. It's a farce. They're not.
So basically, they're going to clear a 200-foot swath
minimum.
But like you say, if they go around a turn or over, or around,
it can be more.
There's property owners that don't have no idea that
they don't.
So the people in West Virginia are fighting this also.
Oh my, they've had a whole year to fight it. They have their groups. They have their own attorneys. Right now, if people fill out a comment form, it's just a comment. It goes in just concerned citizens. If you're a protest form, it goes in front of a judge. Right now, we do not need an attorney. There's a space on it for it, but right now we don't need it. We're just voicing our objections. And they tell you if you call NextEra, we'll return your phone call in 48 hours. I've made 3 phone calls in the last 3 weeks. Every Monday I make my phone calls. I'm waiting for a reply. I mean, they did talk to me twice, so evidently they don't want to talk to me anymore. But all I'm trying to do is find out what property owners are affected. It's so unfair to put out a deadline and legal documents that go in front of a judge, and people don't know. It's like getting charged for a crime and you didn't know what you did or where it happened at, but it's going to go to court.
So the only 2 people, or the only person that's actually an elected official that's actually been able to help you all is Charity Grimm.
Yes.
And Charity Grimm Krupa.
100%.
But you would think that our state senator would be jumping on board about this.
I have the documentation, all the legal forms they found. Every single elected official has been notified. Every single one. The township supervisors, county commissioners, all the way up. Like I said, and it's at the library, if you go read it, it's all there. And I'm telling you, there's a stack of legal forms, probably 16 inches tall, that you have to flip through. They even got copies copies of the land lease that they're going to give to. Everything's all filed. They are ready to go. And the only thing stopping is people. And that's what we need, the people to return your forms. I volunteered to pay for the mailing to get them overnight mailed to Harrisburg, just so our voice is heard. Right now, thank you, Jon Marietta, for allowing me this time to speak to people and make them aware of what's going on.
Well, I haven't seen nothing at the reporter's office. So I'll record. They haven't, as far as I know, they haven't filed anything at the reporter's office. That will happen after the protest. And like you say, they probably have all the documentation ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
And when it comes in, it'll come in a box, in a big box.
Well, the county commissioners already told me that. I went to one of their meetings and we was allowed 3 minutes to speak because we weren't on the agenda. But then, of course, we've had a time restraints. But yeah, they did say they did receive a box of paperwork, but they didn't read it. So they have an attorney. So they don't know what's going on either, and they didn't give a yay or nay as to how they felt.
Well, they need to take a stand on. They need to take a stand on this. There's some other things that went on with some other things with the commissioners, and that they need to take a stand. They need to protect Fayette County. That's their job. That's their job.
Well, and that's it. And as far as they weren't put in an office and paid a salary to represent private investors or private companies.
But you'll find out that these same county commissioners have signed NDAs so they don't have to report some of the things.
What's that? I mean, excuse me, an NDA?
It's a non-disclosure agreement. They sign them. They've signed them with FAPEN, which.
What part of public official? Where is that in the definition?
They have.
Excuse me. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
You got to be kidding.
No,
me.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not lying. We got the documentation. We got it. Scott Dunn and Vince Facides, the names you can know and trust to raise your taxes all the time. They've signed NDAs with FAPEN, and FAPEN's going to get involved in this project somehow, some way. I guarantee it.
But wait a minute. They're a public official that aren't allowed to talk to us. Is that what you're telling me?
Because if it's going through FAPEN.
And what's different? Isn't FAPEN public?
No, FAPEN is
private. Is it a private?
No.
Okay, clarify, please.
We fund FAPEN.
Okay, taxpayer
dollars. So
it's public.
So no, it's called.
Why not?
It's called an NGO, non-government organization. So it's all over the country. I mean, I got a phone call from Maine just last night or the night before. They seen my podcast about what we were doing. I got a phone call from fellow in Maine. These NGOs are going to be. It's the how do I want to say it? It's the secret society of government that it's the secret part of the government that nobody wants you to know about. They do sign NGOs. Charity Grimm wouldn't sign one. We're looking into some other officials that might have signed it. What's that?
Bless her.
Well, yeah, I mean, and when I get in trouble because I point this out to people on radio shows and the podcasts and different things. He just put the NDA. He's up there right now. The non-disclosure agreement got done. And Vince Facides signed. It's up for everybody to see. These people, I don't get why they think they're above us. I mean, we elected them to protect their job. When you take your oath of office, you're supposed to. It means that you're protecting the public. I mean, you're working for the public.
I was totally unaware of that.
But I didn't mean to blindside you with this.
Oh no, I've been blindsided here for the past 4 months.
And I appreciate. I mean, there's so much information here that we can get out to people. There's going to be a meeting in Smithfield. Where at?
At the Haydentown.
At the Haydentown.
Fire Social Hall, the fire department social hall on top of Haydentown Hill.
Okay. So, and that is going to be Friday,
No, Thursday, April 9th at 6 o'clock.
Thursday.
And we're
Okay.
going to help people fill out forms. I'm trying so hard to try to get the property owners' names. So the people that know they're going to be impacted. And I have a few because I have some people helping me look this stuff up. Everything I've gotten has been from their documentation or from Googling on the internet trying to find it.
They still haven't said where the, I
No.
mean, they haven't determined
No,
where this
no.
line's going to go
No.
through.
And that's totally going to harm us because people that should be protesting don't know about it. And they'll say, okay, well, these people protest, we'll just move it over here. These people didn't fill out paperwork. I feel that anybody in Fayette County should fill out the protest because they're coming through here. And they combined the lines. They had A, B, C, D, and F. We're route C and F. And if you look at their maps, they're basically going mostly through West Virginia. There's only like 10 miles coming through Fayette County, but it's still going to cost Pennsylvania not taxpayers, Pennsylvania utility users $812 million.
Say that one more time.
$812 million over the next 15 years that our electric bills are going to go up to pay for power to go to Virginians. And that is totally wrong. I am sorry. I'm dead set against this.
Well,
I mean,
the way I look at it is, Virginia can, they need, if they need power, which they need,
you live
we
within
get
your
that.
means.
But no, well, that's not.
They can't afford
That's
to run
not the
these
issue
things.
here. The issue is here. We'll gladly sell them the coal. Gladly make sure they got the natural gas, and then they can build. They can build the power. They don't have to transmit it from Illinois, right? Isn't that where it's coming from?
No. It's coming from Greene County.
Oh,
The edge, the border, West Virginia.
No, I
and-
mean where the power originates from. It's a power.
Mm,
Illinois or Indiana?
I can't
Okay.
answer to that.
I thought I said
No, they call it the 502 junction. It's
so they're going to
in
build
Greene County.
So they're going to build this power plant in Greene County.
They're talking about it. It's not there yet. I don't know what's happening with that. I don't have any solid information about that. But you can't build a power line if you don't have a power company to generate power and put in the power line. But like I said, they want to do the power line first. So it got the cart before the horse, but
Well, yeah. But
if the power was coming to Pennsylvania, it would be one thing, but that is my biggest grievance. That is, and my husband was getting paperwork from people in Virginia and Maryland. They don't want this either.
because it's going to go through Maryland.
Yes.
It's got to go through
It's going through West Virginia, Maryland, and into Virginia.
Okay.
People Google power transmission line towers over 190 feet tall.
Well, we had a
They're
power plant here in
monsters.
Masontown that did ship a lot of power to Virginia.
Yeah, and after they retooled it and made it non-polluting and everything else, they tore it down.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Our government at work
Thank you.
and took the jobs away.
Thank you, Barry Obama.
Mm.
How about that? I mean, but anyways, contact information. If somebody needs to get a hold of you.
Actually, I don't know what would be best. I don't do Facebook just because
Okay.
I still work. I don't have time to deal with it. But my phone number, it'll probably be blown up.
Well,
But if you come to the Haydentown Social Hall,
And
I
that-
will be
what-
there.
the-
This is our big event.
and that's Thursday night.
Thursday night
What
at
time does
6
it start?
o'clock.
6
It's
o'clock?
starting at 6.
And what time are you going to try it? I mean, how long you want to be there? You'll be
We'll
there
keep
till
the
midnight.
doors open. If people are coming in, I will be there.
I know all the firemen out of it. I know all the firemen out of Haydentown. They're wonderful people. They are.
Well, we want to get as many forms turned in, filled out correctly, filled in, and I want to overnight mail them so they will have something setting before this deadline that, that a few people
Now-
are aware of the
now-
situation.
You're probably going to end up with the amount of petitions you have. You're probably going to have a courier take them. I think.
I don't care what it costs.
Yeah.
I'll get them there.
Okay.
If I have to drive them myself, I will. It's just so disturbing.
Well, I'm going to get. We didn't. Bud Cook's involved in this too,
Yes.
and
Yes.
he's
And actually, Farmington, some of the firemen and some people from Farmington came to the meeting
It's
at
Smithfield.
Smithfield.
Yeah.
Because it's going through them too.
And I know Harry Cochran, and he was trying to figure it out too.
Yes.
He's running for
He was there.
Senate. Yeah. And I was there. Well, let's do this. Please, if you have time, get to the Haydentown Fire Department on Thursday night.
And
This show is going to go out. We're going to try to get it out first thing tomorrow morning if we can, but we'll get it out Thursday night. That'll give it a day, and maybe we can throw together something else for you if we got 2 minutes tonight. Get it out on Facebook a little bit bigger and better. So, Susan, I really appreciate you coming in.
I really appreciate you giving me the time to
Well, we're gonna
make people aware.
we're gonna do updates. I am totally against.
Oh,
So I want to thank
that
you.
law needs changed.
Yep. So, okay, hey, we're going to close up, and I always close up with this. On this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad, smile with the sad, love what you got, but always love what you have. Always forgive, but never forget. People change, things go wrong, but just remember the ride goes on. God bless each and every one of you. God bless America. I am Jon Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.